Alright, Allie, let's take a look at your paper. MLA format first. This needs to be in Times New Roman font. You got a space issue here and a space issue here. Otherwise, this is fine. Not a bad title. I'm okay with that. Actually, I really like the way that you set up your topic. I'm hoping this is a byproduct of your awesome speech teacher, but I'm not sure. But I really like the way that you set this up, that it's actions that measure a person. You got a slight little word choice here. It is the way he is it the way he treats others. You just have an extra letter in there, so just go back and fix that. Macbeth from William Shakespeare. Sometimes you gotta get the whole name in there. Is a good man, but he has a condition where that affects his actions majorly. Which affects his actions, and I could take out majorly. It's a pretty weak adjective or adverb there, and whatever adverb, it's gonna go after effect. So I would put if you do want to add an adverb in there, what kind of effect does it have? You might want to move that. Okay. So you give off the main points. Now affects him more than ever, and maybe I would even say based on some of the events of the play and be specific, it affects him. So your thesis statement, which I'm sure we went over a little bit and got through, you're going to focus on abnormal actions, which is fine. But I just read another paper that focused on this that didn't do a good job of getting into the heart of the matter in the body. So we'll see if you do that once we get into your body. So the way they affected him led him, so LED, into believing in symbolism, which then led him to carry out toxic actions. I'm not sure symbolism is the right word that you're looking for there, so you might want to go back and look that up. Okay, so you have some really good one thing that a lot of people aren't doing well, Allie, that you're doing really well, is bringing in a lot of the online stuff about your symptom, which I think is great. And actually, this is a little informal for a research paper, but I think it definitely adds voice to it as well, or definitely in the mix. It's a little informal, but I'm actually kind of okay with that because it adds a little bit of voice to you and to your paper. So you're going to go and talk about the dagger, which is fine. You got a space issue here. You got to add a space there. And then these should be periods, not colons. Should be 2 period 1 period 33. You got a space issue here that you need to get rid of. So just work on those little things there. All right, so seeing the dagger leads him, to King Duncan's room to commit the act of murder. So this is where we talk about abnormal. This is an out-of-place action for him to do, especially, so this would be a run-on or a sentence fragment here, since it is for a sour reason. I actually kind of like that word, for a sour reason, to get ahead, no comma. Remember, only comma conjunction when you have 2 complete sentences. This is not a complete sentence. And make the process of being crowned king faster. You don't need a comma there either, Now, you haven't really brought up his wife yet. You haven't brought up Lady Macbeth, but now all of a sudden you're jumping into it. And I'm not sure, I guess you could. The hallucinations are a direct byproduct of what? Now you're saying that he was influenced by his wife and seeing the dagger that he goes through with the murder. Did his wife really influence him to see the dagger, or was that something else that was influencing him? Was it his mind, his abnormal thinking? Was it the nasty thoughts put in his head by the witches? I think you need to maybe look at that a little bit closer, because I'm not exactly sure how she fits into the equation. The whole situation leads people to be somewhat suspicious of Macbeth. Remember, you need a strong transition statement, just like speech class. So now that we have this symptom, we're moving on to this symptom sort of thing. So keep thinking about that. All right, so this is kind of a weird statement. They start to believe the truth that Duncan is dead. Well, no, they know Duncan's dead because they see his dead body. This is what they're starting to see. It's all because of Macbeth. Start to believe the truth that Macbeth had something to do with Duncan's death. You might want to reword that. But this is a really, I don't know. These 2 sentences I almost don't think need to be in here. I think you can actually take them out and just make this a better transition statement. This isn't a bad topic sentence. I like that topic sentence. And then you get into your outside resources, which is good. You have these 2 here. Probably, I don't know if it's necessary. It's fine to have them both back to back, even though they're the same source. Be careful with where your punctuation goes, your end punctuation. Remember, if you need your period here, not here. So just make sure that you did it right here. Just make sure that you do it right wherever you are. All right, so when you get into explaining this whole idea of these delusions, there's a couple of things that you need to work on. Number one, that's not the right tone. It's supposed to be an adverb, and it's not an adverb, so you need to fix that word. So the bad feeling he has is not this, because we know Banquo says he has doubts about him, but the reason Macbeth doesn't trust him is because of his prophecies. He doesn't say, "Oh, Banquo knows I killed Duncan." That's not why he doesn't trust him. He doesn't trust him because of the prophecies, which is still delusional. You can still bring that up. Talk about troubling actions in the future, something like that. But what I would love to see is have you go back to some of these statements up here, out to get them. He does make the outlandish decision, which that's good word choice there. As you write. So he said it was a threat to him, which is fine. Since, no comma, he had the smallest delusion about Banquo, needs to be capitalized, he immediately destroyed them. And this is where I'm having a hard time with some of your statements. Like you said in your previous paragraph, he is known to take extreme violent action. In the battlefield, he's known to do that. Duncan's was really out of place, but this is not necessarily now. And then you get into your last paragraph here, slightest unsettling feeling, and he could perform violent actions again, maybe is what you're trying to go for. This is, again, this information I feel like you wanted up here. Although, I guess, sorry, your next paragraph is about violent actions. In that case, I maybe have a little bit more, maybe a little bit add on to this transition a little bit more to make it a more clear transition overall. So your next paragraph is about his violent actions based on that. So we have this thesis statement here. He turned to one with his recent actions. Notice you use yet here and then yet right there to start off the next sentence. So you might want to fix that. You capitalize this earlier, but don't capitalize it here. I would either do one or the other. Always capitalize it or never capitalize it as you write this. So think about that. Again, Allie, you're doing a great job with support. Keep up the use of support. He took all of his anger and rage out on Macduff's family and loyals, which is fine. He simply and swiftly said, comma, then say this, then you need a space, then remember to use your periods there. Now, in the play, it doesn't say this, so you're just guessing within 24 hours, so I'd be careful with, in no time at all, Macduff's empire was destroyed, his kids savagely slaughtered. I like this phrasing in Macbeth's twisted and complex mind. Shown to anyone, I like that. But this is where I want you to take a second to analyze it. What does it all mean? Especially as you look back at some of these symptoms. What is the byproduct of all of this? What does it ultimately mean to Macbeth in the end? Think of things like that as you try to finish up the statement. And be careful with no second thought in Macbeth's twisted and complex mind. So you got a repetition there that doesn't need to be in there, so you got to get rid of that. This is the part that I was going to come back to, and that's this theme of being normal again. I think you could really expand on that quite a bit, actually, Allie. Something that might make sense as a theme, so just something to look at in the future. So you start off with repeating your thesis statement, then you go through all your main points, which I would like you to make sure you use hallucinations. You don't use the word delusions, though. I would love for you to use the delusion statement, violent tendency, something like that, as well as 2 words. And I would love for you to extend this ending a little bit more. You're a little short of your 3 pages anyway, so I'd love to see you extend this statement a little bit more. Works cited page, probably not the most reputable site. Not sure that's the most reputable site. So maybe take a look at those, but they are in alphabetical order, which is good. They're in the right format, which is good. So good job on that. So a couple fixes there, Allie. I think you got a good basis for a paper. Just need a few more things and a little bit more analysis, and you'll be on the right track. So good luck with your rewrite.